So hey guys, it has been the longest time since I have done a wrap-up video, so that is what I'm going to do today. I don't think I've done one for 3 months, so you can consider this my September, October and November wrap-up. Now, I have read more books than I'm going to mention here, but a lot of those were just kind of trashy Kindle reads, some urban fantasy sequels, so I'm not going to mention them, but I'm just going to kind of give you the highlights. So here we go. This book I am going to mention is Pure by Juliana Baggott. I don't know if you can see this, the cover's kind of completely embossed. This is a YA dystopian, but I do have to say I found this one of the most interesting and original dystopias, especially concerned with world building. In this book, the world has suffered kind of a nuclear explosion, and there are people who are in safety trapped inside this dome by the government, and then there are people on the outside who were caught in the explosion and therefore fused with anything they were touching. Our main character actually has a doll's head fused into the palm of her hand. It's kind of a split story between her and a boy who has grown up in the safety of the dome, and they are called Pures. Hence the title. This is very much a kind of mystery book, I'd say. I'd say that I connected to the characters too much. I thought they were kind of very, not underdeveloped, but just, it didn't seem like they were the focus. The focus to me seemed to be on the mystery of the dome and the world and who set off the blast. It was much more about the mystery for me than the characters. In the end, I gave Pure by Juliana Baggott 4 stars. Next book I read on my Kindle, and that was Jack Ketchum's Offspring. I don't know if you can tell from the glare, but the cover's just basically a skeleton hand. This is kind of a semi-sequel to Jack Ketchum's Off-Season, which I read a few months ago. The plot is, like many horror movie sequels, a repeat of the first one, but it's just the same monster, in this case the feral people who are cannibals, attacking a different group of people. There is a bit of an advancement to call this a sequel, as the sheriff from the first one kind of comes back into this one to redeem himself after the events of the finale of the previous one. It played very similar to the first one, which is why I'm only going to give it 3 stars, but I do have to say that I've really enjoyed Jack Ketchum's writing. I know it's not the best literary writing, but I just feel he always goes that extra mile to shock and give you gruesome scenes, which is kind of what I'm looking for in a horror book. Overall, while I gave it 3 stars, I will definitely be checking out the last one in this kind of series, and actually all his books were offered in the Kindle Daily Deal at 99p around Halloween, so I picked up a ton of those. You can probably expect more reviews of those in the future. The next book I read was The Darkest Minds by Alexandra Bracken, and I have to say I really didn't enjoy this much at all. A lot of people talk about it on BookTube like it's really, really good, and I did kind of have high expectations, I guess. In the end, I was actually really disappointed. If you didn't know about this dystopian, it's kind of very similar to X-Men with children. The book starts off with all the kids who have powers trapped in a kind of Hitler-style concentration camp, which to me was the most interesting part of the novel. After they leave, kind of devolves into a story about being on the road and looking for something, and it takes them a long time to find what they're looking for. There are a few action sequences along the way, but overall it was hard to get excited about. I didn't particularly like the main characters. In fact, I kind of hated them a little bit. I thought the love story was a bit forced, like it was simply there because the author realised she needed a love story to go in with her dystopian. Overall, I was very disappointed by this, which is why I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Next book that I read I actually picked up in a charity shop for £1, and that is joowon by Kei Ohashi. Actually a novelisation of the film, which didn't really heighten my expectations in any way. I kind of like the Japanese cover, it looks really, really cool. If you didn't know or have seen this movie, this is a horror book. About this book, it's basically about a mother and son who are murdered and die in a terrific rage that therefore places a curse on them to ensure that they forever walk this plane, killing people. Anybody who comes into these ghosts' house, die. And it kind of got a little bit repetitive after a while, basically just following the ghosts around as they kill people. Really creepy scene where she stalks this boy and sneaks into his room and listens to him masturbate and his bed, which was pretty much the creepiest thing in the entire novel. In the end, I gave joowon 2 out of 5 stars. The next book I'm going to talk about is Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. Now, I think everybody has pretty much seen the movie, so I won't really talk about the plot. It's about dinosaurs. Spoilers. I actually really enjoyed this, and I didn't think I would. It's very much more scientific compared to the movie, which gave it a kind of a fresh edge, and it reads kind of like a 90s techno thriller. I will say that the movie pretty much covers the basis of the book really, really well. It's quite a good adaptation. There are a few extra scenes and a few extra dinosaur attacks mixed in, obviously. But overall, I didn't really get anything new from this book in a way. I actually really like this book and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars, and I am currently reading The Lost World. The last book I am going to talk about is Your House is on Fire, Your Children Are All Gone by Stefan Kiespi, whose name I really, really like. I read this for Halloween. This is a horror novel, but it's more kind of short stories that are connected by a specific place and specific characters. Each little short story is told by a different point of view of one of the kids growing up in a place called Devil's Moor. Creepy things are going to go on in that place no matter what. I saw a review of this from Candice over at Librarian Fan Mail, whose channel I will leave linked below, and she basically called this a nasty little book, and that's basically what it is. There's a certain detachment that the narrators have that makes them feel really, really, really creepy in the stuff that they are describing. There's one instance where a 5-year-old boy suffocates his sister in her sleep and he's just not feeling anything from it. And I did find this really, really creepy in places. It's not really scary in a hugely terrifying way, but more in a just unsettling, getting under your skin kind of scary. Because these kids truly are evil. That's the best word I can use to describe them. I also really, really like the cover. It's really, really cool. In the end, I gave this novel 4 stars out of 5. So that has been the end of my wrap-up. I hope you enjoyed it, and I shall see you soon with another video, probably a book haul, because I just went crazy. So I shall see you then. Goodbye!